just connect our battery terminals using a 10mm socket and remove the ground as well as the positive. Let's get to remove our 10mm bolt here for the battery brace. Pop that off. I'm simply going to spin that aside, and I am going to put the bolt back in the cross member here. Let's go ahead and remove our battery. Grab the brace and the J-hook, and then we're going to grab our battery liner here, pop that out as well.
With the wheel turned out, you're going to use your trim tool. Going to get to this little button right here. Going to pop out the center, and then remove the button itself. Right beside it, there's another one right here. Pop that center, go ahead and pull that button. We're going to use our Phillips head screwdriver to go ahead and remove this screw. Continue along the bottom here. If you have plastic push pins, you want to go ahead and remove them. Ours is missing from a few spots. Buttons that you do find, go ahead and use your trim tool, pop out that center section. Go ahead and rotate your wheel the other way. This will give you access to the inner fender liner. Remove the two buttons like we did on the other side. Okay, and grab your liner or your splash guard here. Work that down and out. Now we want to disconnect our transmission line here. We have a hose clamp with a 1/4 inch head on the unit, so we're going to go ahead and loosen this. Let's go ahead and remove this hose. Now you want to have a catch can underneath for oil. Your transmission fluid is going to come out of this here. And be sure you're wearing safety glasses to protect any splashing. We're going to use our 1/4 inch socket and loosen our worm clamp on our transmission line. It's located on the passenger side or right-hand side of the lower portion of the radiator. Once this clamp is loose, we're going to go ahead and work that hose off. You want to have a catch can or a bucket because transmission fluid will run out. You don't want to let that spill out all over the ground. On the left-hand side, we're going to go ahead and release this hose clamp right here. And this is the hose for the driver's side lower portion of the radiator, the transmission line. Going to use our hose pliers here, loosen that and work that hose off. Have a catch can or some towels underneath, catch any residual transmission fluid that may come out. Now, the hose itself is held in place by a plastic retainer. I'm just going to pop this open. Open up that clip, grab the hose, pull that up and out. We're going to go ahead and reuse our hose clamp here, so we're just going to pinch that, walk that right on off the hose and set that aside. The other side from the factory probably would have had one of those as well, but it looks like we had this replaced before over the years. We're going to go ahead and remove this hose clamp. If you want to, now's the time to replace this one. Ours looks pretty good, so we're just going to reuse this. And grab our hose clamp here, open that up. And I get our first clamp on. I'm going to feed that down, install the hose. Go ahead and grab our hose clamp, slide that back up into position. All right, now we'll go ahead and run that hose down into the retainer clip. There we go. We need to take a pair of pliers and grab our hose clamp right here. Work the clamp down. Grab our hose pliers here. And go ahead and work this hose off.
You want to have a catch can or some rags or something underneath to catch any residual transmission fluid that might leak out. Now we're going to go ahead and reuse our clips and clamps. Just slide the hose clamp off. Factory part may have had a clip just like this here, or a clamp. This one here was replaced at one time probably. Use your pliers. Pinch that, slide that right off. Take your new hose, slide that on. Let's go ahead and install that. Work that hose right up into place. Grab the pliers. You can actually position that hose just right so we can get our pliers on that. I'll go ahead and work that clamp back up into place. So I'm going to go ahead and grab our hose here, and we're going to put our hose clamp on. I'm going to feed this up top. I'm going to install the hose right on the transmission line right there. Work that down. Once that's down in place, I'm going to go ahead and install our hose clamp here. I'm going to go ahead and snug that up. Go ahead and work this hose down. I'll go ahead and tighten up our clamp. Now that the hose is installed, go ahead and check your transmission fluid and top off as needed. I'll go ahead and install our pin in the center right here. Work our way out from there. I'm going to take our metal screw retainer,
slide that up under the fender liner over that hole. I'm going to take our Phillips head screw, put it up through here, goes through the splash shield and into that little retainer, that little lock. And then go ahead and screw this together. Now work our splash shield under. Bring the wheel well liner over. And then we'll put our screw in. Install our button here. Go ahead and line up your fender liner with the splash shield. Go ahead and get your buttons installed.
Repeat for the other side. And take our battery tray, line this up, drop it into place, line up the pins on the body. Want to make sure that the main shield is between the overflow and the fans. Set that in like that. I'm going to install our J-hook here. We'll go ahead and lower our battery down, making sure that the positive side of the battery is facing the front of the vehicle. Grab your J-hook, bring this around. Before we pop that on, let's go ahead and get our battery sleeve put on, if you have it. Here we go. I'm going to go ahead and snug down that 10mm bolt right there. And take our negative terminal, going to set that into place, grab our positive terminal, set this into place and line up our little harness retainer here. Let's go ahead and snug down our battery terminals.